Hey guys, it's Marissa from Grow in the Flow, and I'm popping in here on New Year's Eve to tune into some of the energies coming in for 2022. I'm actually sitting down to do my personal year ahead reading. I've put together a 22 card spread, and I am going to be offering this as well to anyone who's interested. I'll have some info below if you would like to check it out. But this is going to be a pared down version for the collective. So in my reading, I am, of course, pulling a tarot card to represent each month of 2022. And I'm going to have that fanned out in a clock-like pattern where we go from 1 all the way to 12, looking at the energies for each month in the year ahead. And along with that, I'm pulling an oracle card for each season. So I'm going to have an overarching oracle energy for each season. And then I'm also pulling some extra cards to support energies coming in for myself personally for the year, but this is going to be for the collective. So what I've done is I've gone ahead and just pulled one tarot card from the Light Seers deck for an overarching energy for 2022. And I've pulled a Wisdom of the Oracle card from the 𝓣𝓸𝓸𝓵 deck for, again, overarching energies that are working together throughout 2022 that we can tune into, that we can look to for guidance as we move into the nitty-gritty of each month. This is just giving us some overarching energies to work with. So the first card that's come up is our tarot card, which is the Devil. Now, I actually love that this card came up. The Devil is nothing to fear. It is a Major Arcana card, so it is talking about a significant stop along our way on the Fool's journey, which we are all on. We're all here, come to this earth plane, living this lifetime as the Fool, here for our soul to experience lessons, blessings, growth, expansion as a soul. So the Devil is one of those really key lessons that comes forward for us. And that has been playing out over the last several years, of course. But it is that energy of looking at patterns and ways of being. It's addictions. It's the old ways that we can settle into stories that we may have been telling ourselves or beliefs that we hold on to that are no longer serving us. I love how it's depicted on this card with this marionette, this puppeteer, pulling strings, and this idea that, we can be holding on to a belief that we are beholden to something that's just the way it is, an old pattern, something we fall into. This, of course, can be in the way of addictions of all kinds. But the Devil is really asking us to make a choice, to really take a look at, balance in the light and the dark aspects that come forward, which are both needed for us to have harmony and balance, which is perfect because 2022 is the year of the lovers. Every year goes with a tarot card. So every year has a tarot year. We're coming from 2021, which numerologically added up to a 5, which was the Hierophant, the year of the Hierophant. And that has certainly been playing out for all of us and in the collective with this idea of spiritual growth and expansion, the lesson of the guru coming through as far as, where we are putting our faith and trust in, whether we're looking within to our own inner knowing or we're looking outside of ourselves. There's just been so much energy in the way of spiritual growth and ascension playing out throughout 2021. And as we transition from that 5 year to 2022, which is a 6 year, that goes with card 6 of the tarot, the Lovers. And it is actually the counterpart of the Devil. When you see these two cards side by side, you see how similar they are, how they offset each other. And this is one of the reasons for bringing in the Raphael energy spray for balance and harmony, for healing and connection, because Archangel Raphael is the archangel that is above the lovers on that Lovers card, and that is bringing in the energy of balance, harmony, duality, choice. There's really a Garden of Eden energy to this card. So again, we go back to the Devil, we talk about temptation, we talk about the devil we know versus the devil we don't know. There's so much symbolism in these two cards. And interesting that the Devil is card 15, which of course also adds up to a 6. So we have this 6 energy coming in very strong for this year ahead. And that is all about balance, harmony, reciprocity. There's just so much symbolism there. And I love how I'm seeing that come forward in these cards that we've gotten for the collective. So I'm going to be expanding on that in a blog post coming up about the lovers and how we can tune into that energy for this year. But I will also just note that we have the snake symbolism coming in, which we see on the lovers card. Of course, we have that sort of as a typical symbol of perhaps devil energy, snake in the grass energy. And yet, how can we embrace the positive lessons and messaging of the snake? Let's take a look at the color energy that has come forward for the collective for the new year. We have white gold. This is a gorgeous card, and the key word is wisdom. So this is about the continual shedding the skins of our souls. We are outgrowing those old patterns, those old ways of being, those addictions, those things that are holding us captive. That devil card talked about being in a prison of our own making, that those chains are rather loosely held. It can seem like an impossibility to escape, and yet we have wisdom, higher wisdom, and knowing that white gold is bringing forward that we can transcend that energy. We can shed our skins and we can grow and expand. So white gold talks about on every level we have physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual. How might this be showing up for you? For the collective, we're talking about entering a transitional period where our old comfortable ways are getting phased out and we're stepping into a new simplistic way of living. So how might that show up for you physically this year? Well, it can be in terms of losing weight, either physical or metaphorical, energetically losing weight, but that is definitely something that's presenting itself as a priority for you now, is really looking at shedding, again, the excess on all levels. Emotional, perhaps you've been underestimating yourself. So, dare yourself to ask for more, to be bigger, to dream bigger, to expand, again, breaking out of that skin that no longer suits you. Mentally, we're rising above. We're overcoming obstacles and defeating odds, things that are seemingly impossible. And certainly as a collective, feels like we really have our work cut out for us, and that can feel really defeating at times. And yet white gold is coming in, encouraging us to believe in impossibility and to dream for more. Spiritually, we're letting go of the past or shedding old skin. Yes, once again, that snake reference is coming back around to advance us to the next stage of life. That is what the Hierophant has been preparing us for all throughout 2021, and that is what we are stepping into to embrace. We have this opportunity in 2022. The affirmation of the white gold card is, I embrace change because I know it supports me. I release all temptation and self-sabotaging tendencies. So there we have it. There was not a better color card to come forward with that overarching devil energy that we have coming up for the collective for 2022. So now let's move into the crystal energy. We get the agate. Get back into balance. Yes, thank you. Again, we have the 6 energy coming forward of the lovers: balance, harmony, reciprocity, choice, duality in all things. And agate comes forward to support us. So this is a crystal energy that you can work with throughout 2022, because it's really a time for you to be mastering your sense of equilibrium, restoring equilibrium. We talk about on physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual levels, things have been a little crazy, right? Putting it mildly. There's been so much going on. We may be finding ourselves in survival mode, just trying to get by. Things get out of balance. Things get out of whack. This is an opportunity for you to reevaluate how you spend your time and energy, ensuring that your efforts are aligned with your priorities in your life, choosing to put less important things on the back burner so you can give your full attention to what matters most. Take things at a slower pace. That doesn't mean that it's less productive. Moving at a pace that works for you. Slow and steady wins the race. It's a marathon, not a sprint. So there's a lot of energy coming up about being more discerning about how you are distributing your energy, and not equating the speed and the pace and all of those external markers as the indicator that you are being successful. really reevaluating that. And that's, again, bringing us back to that devil energy of taking a look at old beliefs, old systems, old ways of being that just aren't serving us anymore. So that is a beautiful energy to come forward as crystal support. And there is an affirmation that goes with that card, which is, balance is my natural state of being. I love that. Remember that that's what's real. Despite whatever the fears, the anxieties, the worries, the energies that are coming in from external sources might have you believe, those are simply beliefs. Those are simply states that you find yourself in a given moment. That doesn't make them real. It doesn't make them true. It doesn't make it your natural state. So there's this energy of returning back to our natural state and achieving that balance and harmony in all things. Now, as we look at a spirit animal energy, we have the beautiful regal hawk spirit. Let spirit be your guide. Now, I love the hawk. The hawk always represents to me observation, this idea of seeing things from that high perspective, high in the sky. And yet the hawk has tremendous eyesight, because not only are they very aware and in tune with what's going on in the nitty gritty, the nuances on the ground, the tiny mouse, the tiny activities and vibrations that are happening on the ground level, but they're also simultaneously seeing the entire panoramic view. So there's something really beautiful about rising up, flying high, and holding that higher perspective while simultaneously being aware of what's going on down below in the trenches, in the nuances, in the collective, all of the things, and yet you can spread your wings and hold that higher perspective. So that's a really beautiful symbol. And of course, the hawk, like I said, sees both that big picture and the small details. They observe the rain and the pond, as well as the cloud. It doesn't miss a thing. It's simultaneously aware of all of those things, and it's in sort of a detached way that we can approach that. Again, like I said, our natural state of being could be a sense of equilibrium and balance, but we are also aware of all of the aspects on either end of that spectrum simultaneously. So I think there's a lot of symbolism there. And spirit animals are really cool because, we can pay attention to where they might show up. So hawk has planted a seed here to say, watch out, be observant, hold that higher perspective, and really tune into what spirit wants to tell you. When it says, let spirit be your guide, I'm feeling like this is an opportunity for you to be open to those spiritual breadcrumbs, those little things that cross your path, those coincidences, those synchronicities, all of the things that sort of kind of get your attention for a second, that you notice patterns showing up, and really tune into a new, higher, wider perspective of what that might be showing up for you to become aware of, to embrace, to acknowledge. So there's where we have our hawk spirit showing up as we move into a self-care message, self-care wisdom for 2022. We receive the card friend, and the message on the friend card is, be as good a friend to yourself as you are to others. I love that, because I do feel like the little birdie on her shoulder is, again, your wise self whispering in your ear. You're really having an opportunity to connect in with your own inner guru, your own inner knowing. Really reflect back on, how did the Hierophant show up for me this year? In what ways was I learning higher, wider perspectives on spiritual lessons, growth, expansion? What old systems and ways of being just simply aren't working anymore, that need to come down, that I'm feeling the nudge, I'm feeling the inkling, I'm feeling that whisper in my ear of a higher knowing that's really resonating with me, and really taking time to extend that hand of friendship to yourself. We tend to be our own worst critics. We're so much more harsh on ourselves than perhaps we would be to a friend, to a loved one, even to a stranger. The grace and the space that we give others to screw up, to disappoint, to a million things. How do we turn around and give that to ourselves as well? Or when you're feeling stuck and you're feeling unsure about what to do, think about it as if a friend were sharing it with you. what would you tell a friend? How would you advise a friend? So that's another aspect of that self-care wisdom that's coming up here for you to take a look at in 2022 on ways that you can really befriend yourself and really, extend that same grace, unconditional love, and compassion to yourself just as you would to anyone else. And then finally, we have a message from our higher self. We have a answer is simple oracle message, and I love it. It's just laugh. I don't think it gets any simpler than that, to just tune into your inner child, that playful side of yourself. But one of the things about the Jack in the Box, I think there's probably two types of people in this world. Those who like surprises and those who don't, right? Some of us get very anxious with that Jack in the Box going around and around, the anticipation, the expectation that it's going to burst out at any time. It's going to scare us. We're going to feel that shocking feeling, and some people love that. Some people live for that feeling. How can you align yourself in a way that just embraces what is, whatever may come, and there is this element of the unexpected. We hold these expectations, and I think that's been another lesson of 2021, is to really let go of some of the rigid expectations of time, of plans, of, the way that things should be or that we expect them to be, and be more in flow, be more flexible, be more able to move with. And so I feel like this Jack in the Box pops up here in a way that we can sort of be more playful and find the humor in, and again, I know sometimes these disappointments and these unexpected things are certainly not a laughing matter. How can we, again, taking on hawk observation, seeing things from different perspectives, is there another vantage point where we can see some of these things with a little more humor, with a little more ease, and more of that playful side? So I think there's this opportunity too for us to embrace the element of surprise, embrace the unexpected, but also just shifting our own expectations to be more fluid, more in flow, more grounded in our tools. We have all these tools. We're taking a look here at color energies and crystal and spirit animal and self-care, and the ways that we can pull in all of these different tools and work with them so that when things pop up, and they will, how do we move through them? Where's my tools? What do I do? And that's really what the thriving aspect is about when we talk about going from surviving to thriving and supporting one another. And that's where finally I'll bring in the Loyal Heart Oracle card here, where we talk about another overarching energy for 2022. The Loyal Heart card feels very reflective. It feels like I'm getting a lot of like namaste energy. Like I see you and you see me, and I see the love, I see the hope, I see the promise in you, and you see that in me, that we can really look at each other anew in a way that enables us to find the loyal heart, that the relentless hope and promise and spirit of believing in better, believing in surpassing, breaking out of the devil's mold, cutting those cords, and being able to release ourselves from those chains. And how do we do it? By looking at, and I love how the Loyal Heart looks like an egg on the bottom, so it sort of has that like new beginning energy, new seeds that we're planting that are engulfed in love. We have the white energy, and that's where I've brought in the energy of the white light Merkaba energy spray for really bringing in purity, clarity, clearing like a white slate, clean energy where we can really sit down and face one another again anew and be able to recognize that in each other. So there's definitely that reflective energy, that loyal heart energy coming forward that's also overarching our 2022. And one of the things that we are challenged to look at when loyal heart is not in balance. So we talk about this year is going to be all about overcoming those old devil energy patterns, ways of being, familiar, addictive ways and things that we can fall into. Here we talk about how do we transcend that with the loyal heart. And the protection message for the loyal heart is asking, are you stubborn or overly tenacious about an idea? Or have you become so attached to something that you just don't know how to let it go? Could it be that it's become so much a part of you that you wouldn't know who you are without it? Now is the time to look at outdated beliefs, old ideas, and misplaced loyalties. Betrayal is only a signal that it is time to prune away all who don't deserve your trust and have no place in your life. Be new, think new, and open your heart to new things. Let go of the old and all your attachments. Spirit has awesome plans for you. Make some room. So that's beautiful. I think as a punctuation mark on all of this, we're talking about shedding the skins, releasing the layers, the excess, the baggage. We're making room. Clean slate energy. We're reacquainting ourselves with ourself as the best friend that's been with us here all along. And then we're stepping out into the world, radiating and reflecting that energy. We're focusing on what we've got going on here within our little microcosm and allowing that to ripple out and radiate out to what we want to see in the world. So I think those are some beautiful messages. I'm going to be sitting down and doing my personal reading. I might share that over on my Instagram page later. The cards that come up for me, I'm really excited to see what comes forward. But again, if you're interested in a full 22 position year ahead reading, do reach out. I will have my contact information below. But I thank you so much for your time, for listening. I would love to hear what intentions and seeds you are planting for the new year. I am sending you so much love and wishing you many, many blessings in the new year and beyond. Take good care. Hey guys, it's Marissa from Grow in the Flow, and I'm popping in here on New Year's Eve to tune into some of the energies coming in for 2022. I'm actually sitting down to do my personal year